evil and they're just holding us back. It's such a fucking weird. Black people are such victims, bro, and I hate
Hey,
that shit.
hey,
Wait,
Sean.
Shy, please.
Hey,
Shy,
let me.
please.
I just
Hold on,
read.
B. Let him go. Let him go. Let Sean go. Let Sean go.
Then
God,
EBD, hold on. Then EBD said a whole bunch of
no, we
nonsense. It's
just
how
Hold
we
on,
read.
go
CJ.
into
Let's
the
get a
store.
reply.
We go into
You got two people that want to
sorry.
reply, so let's get both.
Let me go ahead.
How fucking ironic. We can't have a conversation about white people because that makes us victims. But niggas are sitting on the internet for hours and talk about how bad they struggling with the women, and that's a legit conversation. But
We have real encounters with the
we
women,
can't talk
not with the police. I said most
so
people
cool.
never have real encounters
I
with
wasn't
racism
done,
with the
CJ.
Hey,
police.
shit.
I wasn't done, bro. I wasn't
Go
done.
ahead. My bad.
I didn't even want to. Like, we lost. But the problem is this, right? You're acknowledging that it exists, right? And we never actually discussed the premise that Hamp laid out, which is that when we're on these panels and we're having conversations about other things, and particularly women, we take the liberty to speak for other men. Right? So why is it that we can't do that? Why is it that I have to endure something specifically in order to have a conversation about it? Or in order to see it as a problem?
And one more thing about
Oh,
racism.
EBD, I asked him a question.
Okay, all right, damn beans, chill.
Y'all don't like come on, man. Y'all supposed to be smarter than me. Pay attention. Go ahead, fantastic.
So the difference is this being, like you said, it's the wants of the few outweigh the needs of the the wants of the many outweigh the needs of the few, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about this very, very small thing of what's the name. You can't possibly know that many people. I don't know nobody that's in prison, bro. You feel me?
Right.
I don't know nobody that's in fighting a murder charge or a drug case or none of that shit. Right. Am I saying they don't exist? No. What I'm saying, they're very, very small percentage of people that are actually going through that. All right.
Right.
So if we were to multiply it exponentially, still even then it will be a very small percentage. So what we're getting a lot of the time is a lot of shit that we've heard other people talk about.
Yes.
Or we know of that other people went through, but we never did ourselves. You feel me?
But fantastic. Here's the thing, though, right? So I think the problem with this argument, though, is that we make it seem like it has to be this one thing happening to all 42 million Black Americans, where it's more like it's 50 different things happening to 300,000 Black Americans over here, 1 million Black Americans over there, 2 million Black Americans over there, 50,000 Black Americans over there, right? All of us not going through the same thing. So the anecdotal that I didn't want to give you, fantastic, is something that I'm actually going through now, where so many properties have been purchased by companies and businesses and banks, right? And then they're creating these statutes that you have to meet. Your credit score needs to be 700. You need to make 3 to 4 times the rent. You need to be 6 foot tall. The last one was facetious, right? I'm saying they make all of these rules for you to be able to get into the complex, right? But they doing that in neighborhoods where they know people don't fucking make that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? So is that not a product of you still in 2025 oppressing me?
No, well, no, again, and that's what I'm saying. That's not racist, that's business. Black people do the same thing.
Wait,
So
you do it in my neighborhood where you know you can literally see the income, right? The qualifications of the income in that particular neighborhood. We know over here these people only make this kind of money. Why would you buy property in that particular area and then put in restrictions that you know those peoples won't meet?
To force you out, man.
Called business. Hold on, Trigger Mike. It's business. Okay. Yep. It's business. That's simply what it is. You can't put a race on a business. Blackstone is a business. It's not white people. It's business. Right? It's a conglomerate of different things. Hold on. So I'm telling you. Because hold on, Beans. Because where you're gonna lose out at Beans on that, there are some black people that qualify. Does not one single black person live there?
Absolutely.
All right, then. So that's what makes your argument fall apart. If the most of you can't do it and you can't meet it from a financial standpoint and so on and so forth, that is a business and a money issue. It's not a race issue.
But you just said it, Mr. Fantastic, right? If most of you can't qualify. So when they put qualifiers in, they know who can and cannot qualify. That's literally systemic on its face. So if you know that these people specifically are not going to meet the criteria, and I put the criteria as such, right? You can mask it as business. right?
Hold
But
on.
we have to
Now, Hamp,
understand.
now, Hamp, how many?
And then Cheek, I'm not gonna reply. You can go because you didn't say nothing yet. And then Big Seg got knocked off.
So I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I think there are 5 times more poor white people than black people. So
Right.
a white person would get the same fucking standard. But the same shit he talking about, that Beans talking about, you don't meet the income, you don't have the credit score. If you white, you Hispanic, you whatever, again, it's business. You're proving my point by trying to take something and then automatically transform it into racism. No, it's business. Everything else is speculation. Everything else is speculation because it's across the board. Now, if you can show me where they got the poor white trash person that don't meet the income expectation and don't have it, now you have a case for racism. But as long as it's applied equally across the board,
I understand the point well. I'll just say this one thing, Chief. You could jump in. They're not doing it where them crackers live.
They do. It's called a trailer park.
No.
That's why you have trailer parks.
They're not gentrifying where them crackers live. Don't do that because you know that's not true.
Gentrification is a nigga problem. It's niggas' fault.
Wait. All I'm saying is this. You presented an argument that they poor rights don't qualify either. What we're saying is where these qualifiers are being hatched is where niggas live. So that's a disingenuous argument is all I'm saying.
It's not disingenuous.
They don't live there.
But if niggas own it, you can't take it.
Your daddy. Go ahead, Chief. You know exactly what I'm saying. Go ahead, Chief, and then we get set in. All right.
Yeah, if we start using these qualifiers for male conversation, then the conversation that men can have is completely over. Right? How many men are actually on child support? The actual number is under 20%. So automatically, most men can't complain about that. It's 18.6, I believe, something along that line when I looked it up maybe a couple months ago. Right. So if you look up how many men are actually on child support and actually have these issues, it's not the majority, it's the overwhelming minority. If we start talking about men and women being equal on paper, we're equal. So what is the complaints about? It's not that we don't have the same rights as women. We do. Technically, we do. Because if we didn't, it would be illegal and you would win a lot of your battles or issues that you have, supposedly. The problem that most men are complaining about is how we apply those said rights and rules that we supposedly have, right? Because we've heard too many men come on the panel or talk about their experience like, oh, well, man, the system is unfair. The court system is unfair. But I promise you, when you look at the documentation and when you look at whatever law or state, whatever the case may be, you have rights. Whether or not you're utilizing them or you are aware about them is not the court's fault, but it's there. So if you want to make the argument, hey, on paper, all of this is fair. All of these things, what are we complaining about? Is the real question.
It's an oversimplification, Chief.
It's funny that you're saying that.
I'm saying, can a man go get custody of his kids right now out of his baby mama's house? Because that's what equal rights.
Hold on. Can a man get custody of his kids? Are they his kids?
Right now, can he go show up at her door and say, hey, you know what? I feel like raising those kids these next 9 years. Run them.
Did he go to the court to
No, I get what you're saying with rights. You're absolutely right. He does have rights.
So you're asking me
exercise them in the exact same way that
you're asking me a question, but you have rights. So what is the complaint?
You're right. We have rights. Can we exercise them in the same? Can he go pick the children up from school without them calling the mom to get her consent first?
Yeah. So Trigger Mike, just real quick before we do this. So Cheeky, that's why I'm kind of confused. That's way too low, brother. Again, if 51% of custodial mothers have child support orders, that's half of the women. Is way more than 18% of men that deal with child support, brother.
So I'm seeing something that says totally different. I'm looking at it now.
I think you were looking at something a little bit lower as to where they were saying like
the 51 is people that's actually in the system.
Yeah, I think this is
come on, man. That's common sense.
Yeah.
Is this a black thing? Is that a black stat or just a stat period?
It's not a stat.
Just men, period. Just men, period. Men,
that's men that's in the system itself.
Yeah, that's men that's on child support and women that's
exactly. That's not the overall.
Yeah,
that's not the totality of men.
Yeah.
Like
it's not people in general.
Right.
That's describing people who actually get the support, and it's differentiating between which ones.
Real quick, I wanted to say.
So wait, before we go, real quick, I'm just saying, let's deal with some of the things. Let's deal with this idea of rights, it being on paper, and the allocation of rights, or those things being quote unquote overly simplified by you. who seems to be oversimplifying the same rights that African Americans talk about they have, but don't fully seem to experience. Right? This is a one-to-one comparison I'm doing here. So if you disagree on one end, you have to disagree on the other, because if you don't, you're having an ideological conflation or some type of
cognitive dissonance.
That's the word I'm looking for. So if we start looking at things on a very paper legal level, men have the same rights as women. If you go to court and say, hey, I have this child, this is my child, guess who gets split custodial rights? Men.
Yeah,
how many arguments have we had where women say, why don't you just take them to court for the rights that you do have?
Yeah, but that's just one facet of the man-woman dynamic, Chief.
Yeah,
I
was like,
I'm only dealing with the facet that I know guaranteed we have rights in.
And we said you're right. Yeah, we have rights. We have rights.
Like
you're right.
The minority, but that would be a horrible thing, because, like you said, the whole racism thing would be applied to the entirety of Black people, men, women.
That's not true. That's not true. The reason why that's not true is because you just did a thought experiment where only a minority of Black people could experience racism, even given the fact that I live in a majority Black area. Of course, I'm not going to experience racism in the way that we know it to be, because I'm in Atlanta where majority of everything is Black. So that in and of itself minimizes or mitigates my experience of racism alone. The same way as in men, most men don't have these issues when it comes to parental rights, because most men aren't parents, according to your own statistics. So if most men aren't parents, and most men who are parents have rights, they just need to apply those rights by using the same law that you say Black people should use. And if you're going through racism, then sue them. And guess what? Somebody on the panel apparently did that and won. Vovo, shout out to you for beating up somebody and winning. What I'm saying is, if we start looking at these things and taking these one-on-one comparisons when it comes to racism or any type of injustice or segregation or whatever you want to call it, we can start applying that to male rights or male anything. And when we start doing it, then our complaints online really sound a lot off kilter, which means you'd have to rethink or retract a lot of the statements you made, especially when it comes to that percentage thing. Because I'm looking at the stat, and which is what I'm trying to tell you, it says 18.3% of people in the US, according to a study in 2011, there is another one in 2017, and they're still trying to figure that out, right? It says right here in 2017, 30% of custodial fathers never received a single child support payment.
Yeah. Ham, throw the damn towel.
That's what we saying.
Real quick, can I say this on the gentrification thing?
Stop cheeky right now.
Yeah,
this is not necessary.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna respond directly to cheeky if you want to talk.
So again, that's still not gonna, because you're still taking one facet, a small facet of the man-woman dynamic. Man-woman dynamic is sex, dating, marriage, children, daily interactions, all those different things. Just that, okay? Racism is blanket across the what's name. That can be any and everything involving white people, what y'all gonna say, right? So again, no, you're cornering. Hold on, I didn't cut you off. You cornered the argument. Hold on, you cornered the argument by purposely taking a minority of something. It's going to be a small minority.
Do them all.
We know minority of what?
Do them all. So do the men that haven't had sex, right? Remember that 30 percentage point is what? Men 18 to 25 that haven't had sex within a year.
Yeah, so that's 30% of those men. So we don't know the numbers for the rest.
Say again.
So we don't know the numbers for the rest.
But what do we say about the youngins? Right? How they operate in the earth, they not gonna have sex as much, right? They inside and all that. Do we conflate that number to all men? Do we capitulate that number to all men?
No.
But yeah, you have to, because like you said, you just literally said it. So we're talking about 18 to 25.
But you don't.
Only 30. What do you mean?
Right, because of how they operate. Remember, we did the whole show on the young niggas.
No, but right? Yeah, the young niggas are still having sex. It's more so the problem with the old niggas that's doing the complaints and shit than what's name. Remember, y'all say we the niggas that can't get pussy and so on and so forth. The young niggas are not really concerned as much, right? And not even young niggas. Let's take the niggas out of it. Men, again, this is about men, period. White men are saying this, Black men are saying this. I guess Pay joined them or whatever, but men, all types of men are complaining about how the women are. Okay, that's a whole bigger percentage that's going to be across the board. Racism that we're talking about is exclusively for Black people alone, so it's not a one-to-one comparison. And there's too many other like I said, it's too many other aspects of it. Okay, you got dating, you got marriage, you got children, you got custody, you got all these different things. Racism is just like, hey, these white folks don't like me.
No, it's not. See, that's what I'm saying. Hold on, Fantastic. Don't do that. Because
hey, I gotta get sad too. Sad been waiting patiently.
Listen, it's fine.
Wait, well, let me.
You know, I'm not arguing with.
Let me respond to that real quick, man. Let me respond to that.
Well, let me clarify, Bean. So I'm not sure you don't think I'm being disingenuous. When I say these white folks don't like me, the same thing you said, right? That covers you manipulating the system to block me out and to do all these different things and covert racism. That includes covert and overt racism. But the white folks don't like me, so either directly or indirectly or out in the open or secretly, they not let me do some shit. Is that fair?
Yes, I'm glad that you said that. But just so people can understand what they're hearing, what we're saying is, and Cheeky, stop, don't ever do this again. You can get arrested for this. The reason why he just clubber laned you is because he just exposed that there are multiple parts also to racism.
Right.
So I may be going through police brutality. That may be 500,000 black people. I said this earlier. We can run it back. Another group demographic of black people, 1.5 million, may be going through this kind of racism, and so forth and so forth and so on. So we
some form of redlining, like HAMP was talking about.
Exactly. So we're not all experiencing the same thing, but collectively, 51% of us are experiencing some form of this BS.
So what it is, Mr. Fantastic, to explain it more concisely, right? Because I think that's super clear. But just for the 600 people here, right? Racism umbrella, police brutality, redlining, etc. Women ain't shit. Child support court, I ain't getting no pussy, etc. But women ain't shit covers all that umbrella, just like racism would cover it. But you're not going to experience all of it at once.
Right. So
and not everybody is going to experience all of it.
Yeah.
Which is,
and there will be outliers that live in Atlanta that be like, it's all black people.
which is why, like, people who like Master C, when he comes on a panel, say, I never experienced this. We don't take his inexperience in these certain areas or aspects and apply that to all men. We say just because you're not experiencing it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, or it's not a real thing, or it's not as prevalent. The problem
we always do that.
The problem is when we start having these conversations about men, women rights, men rights. It is a one-to-one comparison about people who feel indignant about being unjustly represented or not represented at all due to some level of experience, right? And you can look these things up, and it doesn't matter what you say. You can try to bring up dating and go, well, just because you're not dating women doesn't mean that they have to. You don't have a right to date women. So why are you complaining about a right that isn't yours?
Damn.
Yeah.
So,
and this.
It's fantastic. Let me read these. You can get a clean response, and then I don't give a damn what Mr. Fantastic say. If he call you the hard ER, it don't matter. Said got next, okay? After Mr. Fantastic, you still in my man. All right, DC with the 2000. Great show today, fellas. I hope we are learning. This was funny as shit. I just had to start. So solid with the 2000 EBD ellipsis. They absolutely think you are an engineer.
Yes, brother. Nobody mistakes you for a YN in your lifetime. EBD.
Not that collar. Oh, Gun with the $5 says EBD. Don't you date all Snow Bunny up here talking how we are oppressed? That's hypocritical. You want to?
I'm just trying to get over on the system like they're trying to get over on me. That's all.
Jay Miller with the $2 says, is the white man responsible for Volvo? You want to respond to this, Volvo?
Absolutely.
He just a homo. He just he's checking me out. He's checking me out. Why you keep talking about my hairline? We sitting there having a real conversation.
Yeah, all the time. Don't try to fight from the chat, nigga. You got a microphone. Aaron with the $5 says, CJ bullshit, because when black men say they don't experience what you experience with black women, y'all start shaming. You got to be fair. Y'all are selective. DC with the $2 says, question for the panel. What is racism in 2025? I think we kind of been mining through that, so let's keep going. Said with the $1.
My brother Coin.
He said, let me
talk. Up, buzzing, bird, flip a dozen. Holla at your boy. You thought your cousin was.
My brother Corey Love in the building, man. Became a member. Salute my G. Hope all is well. Good to see you. Aaron with the $2 says, these I made it out. Y'all better get yours, niggas. CJ with the $2 says, we literally don't have the same rights. Uncut was perfect. Been a member for 11 months. Salute, my G. Hope all is well. Aaron with the $2. Imagine I said feminism. What he saying? Was 50 years ago. Let it go. I see what he's saying. NTAT with the $5 says, panel, I cloud watch Mike, Cheeky, and Beans. Good content. Come on, EBD. Take this show over. They got nothing on you. Peace to the rest. Nick Taylor. Salute Nick Taylor in the building. Combo, fellas. Cheeky and Beans winning, though. LOL. Salute to my brother Corey Love in the building for the first 50 ball of the.
And when I'm feeling broke, E and J by my side, Henny like $40. This shit like
Appreciate you, Corey. AO Ogletree with the $5 says, change the name of the show to This Might Be Fantastic. Great job, fantastic.
Brother.
Trigger Mike with the $2 says, this is for said. Damn, nigga, speak up. CJ with the $5 says, Cheeky talks in a soft voice, so y'all think he right, but he wrong as fuck. Men and women don't have the same rights, and men complaints are valid. You gotta
CJ, show me the ordinance. Give me a law that says that we don't have the same rights. Show me the state. Show me the law. Since you Mr. Smart note taking man, show me all of the numbers you need. It's something. Show me something before you start saying I'm wrong. Give me a court case and give me where that court case was won by the man and the law didn't change.
I'm about to drag him.
Damn.
Come on, CJ. Don't do it. You can box, nigga, but you can't.
What's up, everybody?